here.
Ooh, these are comfy chairs.
Yeah, I call you Susie, right?
I did.
No struggle.
You did it. Proud of you. Good morning, Steph. Happy New Year's.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for all for joining us of our joint Palm Beach County League of Cities Legislative Delegation Workshop. Welcome, delegation members, and please introduce yourselves. Representative Edmund.
I'm always first for some reason.
And your staff, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Gervonta Edmonds, and I'm proud to serve House District 88, which covers Lake Park, Riviera Beach, West Palm Beach, Anconio Park, and Royal Palm Beach. My legislative staff is Graham Wise and LaTanya Cruz, and it's just an honor to be here, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Skidmore, State Representative for District 92, which is unincorporated parts of Palm Beach County in Boca Raton, Delray Beach, and Boynton Beach. So sorry, I have no municipalities. Staff is Amy Chamberlain and Dr. Gwen Gonzalez.
Good morning. My name is Deborah Tendridge. I'm your state representative for District 89. We cover Lake Worth, Lake Clark Shores, Palm Springs, Green Acres, Atlantis, and parts of West Palm and Lantana. I'm happy to be here, and I'm here with Audrey Piedra, my district aide.
Good morning. Mac Bernard, State Senator for District 24. I just want to welcome you to District 24. My district starts in Palm Beach Gardens and it goes all the way down to the Hypoluxo line. And I do have two of my legislative aides who are here. I have Devonique Taylor and Mr. Willie Miller who's here, and I believe Parnell will be here. Also, he's caught in traffic, so it's great to be here.
Me? Oh. Good morning, everybody. I'm State Representative Mike Caruso from House District 87. Runs from Manalapan all the way to Jupiter along the Intercoastal and the ocean. A beautiful place, and I hope you've all been there. I'm here with my legislative aide, Walter Boykis, and my former district aide, Eva Saznova, who still thinks she's got her job, I guess, so coming out early this morning. So glad to be here. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, I guess I'm next. Thank you. My name is Ann Gerwig. I'm the state representative for 93, House District 93, which includes parts of Green Acres and all of Wellington and some unincorporated Palm Beach County in that area. My aides are not able to be here today. My district aide is Kathy Adler. Some of you know her from Wellington days. So I snagged her from Palm Beach County. And she's going to be my district aide here, but she's in training this morning. And Reed Ragsdale is my legislative aide, and he's up in Tallahassee working remotely for this one session, and then he will be here in person from there on. So those are the two people I have working for me, and I have great confidence in them, and I'm proud to be here and represent this fantastic House District 93. Former board member of the League of Cities, former president of Palm Beach County League. Happy to be a partner with the cities.
Thank you.
And I think I filled in enough time so that Peggy's ready.
Morning.
Peg.
You're up.
You're up.
You're up. Introduction.
Hang on, guys.
Good morning, everyone. Peggy Gossett-Seidman. I'm state representative for Boca Raton, Highland Beach, and Southwest Palm Beach County. I used to be coming up to these meetings on behalf of my town commission, and now it's interesting to be on this side representing my district at the state level. I'm entering my second term as a state rep. I'm moving forward with a lot of wonderful things for my district, and we'll look forward to working with everyone. I used to serve on 2 boards at the league, working with Richard very closely and other representatives and people at the county level, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Senator Harrell.
Thank you very much, and it's a delight to be here. I apologize for being a few minutes late. The traffic was quite something this morning coming down from Stewart. I'm State Senator Gail Harrell. I represent District 31, which incorporates parts of St. Lucie County, all of Martin County, and the northern part of Palm Beach County, and it kind of goes stair-stepping down. Starts down, goes through Juneau, Jupiter, down Palm Beach Gardens to PGA. I go west at PGA, out to Military Trail. Military Trail, I go south to North Lake. At North Lake, I go west again, out to the Turnpike, and then on the Turnpike, I go south all the way down to Southern, out to the lake, incorporating all of that western Glades area of Palm Beach County, which I just love. And I'm delighted to be here. This is will be my 7th session in the Florida Senate, and also I had 16 sessions in the Florida House in 2 different stints. So it's a delight to represent a good chunk of Palm Beach County. I have with me, and they're coming in because they're parking, Carrie Lira, who handles all the financial requests, and then Karen Sweeney, not here yet, Karen Sweeney, who handles all our policy issues. So please make sure you contact us with anything you need. I'm really look forward to hearing what is very, very important to our cities today. Thank you.
Senator Berman.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to see everyone here. I'm Senator Lori Berman. I represent District 26, which is part of Boca, Delray, Boynton, and then it flips over and takes in Wellington and Belglade and South Bay. I think my staff should be here today. Yep. I see Troy, Brenda, and Sophia, and I'm happy to be with all of you and talk about the issues on everyone's mind today. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. I'm Joe Casello, State Rep for District 90, encompasses the cities of Boynton Beach and Delray Beach. It's good to be here. I'd like to welcome President Chelsea Reed, Palm Beach League of Cities and League of Cities board members, Richard Radcliffe, Executive Director, Palm Beach League of Cities, and ask if President Reed has any welcoming comments before the board members introduce themselves.
That would be lovely. Good morning, everybody. Again, Chelsea Reed, Mayor of the City of Palm Beach Gardens, and very proud to be president of our Palm Beach County League. So on behalf of our board and all of our members, we want to thank the delegation for bringing us here today with the explicit chance to share what the cities care about as we go into this legislative session. And what I want to do is brag on our amazing team that has worked hard already this year as we get forward, looking forward to the heading up to Tallahassee. And I appreciate, we have a joke in Palm Beach Gardens that the weather is up to the vice mayor. And so whoever the vice mayor is in this area, thank you for bringing Tallahassee here today. I think the cold weather is going to get us all ready for what we have ahead. And what we have ahead will be a parallel of what we already have in our county. As you guys know, this year we've had a level of collaboration like never before. I think we're going to see that as we go into the legislature. Palm Beach County always shows up strong with lots of voices, and we look forward to continue to collaborate with all of our state senators, all of our House reps. We love the communication, and we thank you all so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to President.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you, sir. All right, we have a wonderful legislative agenda that we're looking forward to sharing with you today. I mentioned our team leaders. Yep, and we're going to go ahead and introduce each one of them, and then after that, we'll have them talk about their interests as well. Okay, and we have some members in the audience. Oh, Richard's telling me, what do you want?
Richard's leading.
All right, fair enough. We'll start with Jeff. And I do want to also shout out to our members who are in the audience afterwards.
Well, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. And yes, Richard does pretty much guide us normally. I say that as a past president, so I've had that firsthand experience myself. And I look forward to participating in this. I'm currently the mayor of Royal Palm Beach, and we have so many opportunities to work together. This is a great place to kind of reinforce that going into the next session. So we look forward to opportunities to work together. Thank you.
Hello, I am Mayor J.P. O'Connor of the shiny new city of Westlake, newest and fastest growing city in Palm Beach County. I am the second vice president of the Palm Beach County League, member of the, although they keep changing the name of the Transportation and Intergovernmental Affairs Committee for the Florida League, as well as I sit on the board of the league. I'm very, very excited to be here and present to you all today.
Good morning, everyone. Melise Sundstrom, Vice Mayor for the town of Jupiter. Also serving on the board of the Palm Beach County League of Cities. This is my first year on this board and participating in our legislative delegation meeting. So thank you.
Around. All right. Okay, great. We'll see Mayor Rush.
Bev's there. You want to
hello,
introduce
Bev.
yourself?
Good morning, all. My name is Clara Murray. I am the Vice Mayor for the City of Pahokee.
If we could just continue, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Joaquin Almazan, Vice Mayor of the City of Belle Glade, at-large representative. I sit on the board of the League of Cities representative.
Good morning. Bev Smith, Mayor of the Village of Palm Springs, past president of the Palm Beach County League of Cities, and currently a member of the Utilities, Natural Resources, and Public Works Committee for the League of Cities.
Good morning, everyone. Jan Murdusky, Councilwoman, Village of Royal Palm Beach, also on the Policy Committee for Utilities, Natural Resources, and Public Works.
Good morning. Betty Resch. I'm the mayor of Lake Worth Beach. I don't have staff with me today, but I do have newly elected Mimi May, one of our newest commissioners, and she's very interested in getting involved. I'm on the Land Use and Code Enforcement Legislative Committee. I'm also on the board of the Palm Beach County League of Cities, and thank you all for coming.
Leandre Campbell, City Manager for the City of South Bay, Secretary Treasurer for the Palm Beach County League of Cities, and also a member of the Land Use and Code Enforcement through the Florida League of Cities.
Good morning, everyone. Susie Diaz, Council Member, City of Green Acres, large city representative on the board for the League of Cities, and I also sit on the Land Use and Code Enforcement Committee.
Good morning. I'm Kim Glass Castro, Vice Mayor for the Town of Lake Park. I'm past president of this league. I serve on the Florida League of Cities Board of Directors, and I serve on the Municipal Administration Legislative Policy Committee.
Good morning, everyone. Molly Young. I am the mayor of the Village of DeQuesta. I am the first vice president of the Palm Beach County League of Cities, and I also served as the vice chair on the Finance and Taxation Committee this year. I'd also like to recognize our vice mayor, Rick Sartori, in the audience.
All right, thank you all so much, and I do also want to thank our other board members who have come. If you want to introduce yourselves, or shall I introduce you? We've got Yvette Drucker from Boca and Shalonda Warren from West Palm. So we always appreciate all of the support from all of our members. As we dig in front of you, you will find our legislative priorities printed out. However, since we are lucky enough to have your audience today, what we're doing is we're asking each of our team leaders to tell you specifically a little bit more about what you'll be hearing from us as we head to the Hill. So I'd like to start with Mayor Betty Resch, who will be talking, I don't want to actually spoil it, you go for it. Tell us what you'll be talking about.
Perfect. Oh, perfect, thank you. I'll set a very low bar. I'm on the, as quite a few of us are on the Committee for Land Use and Code Enforcement, which we never talk about. I want to change that next year, just FYI for all of us. We came up with two agenda items that we think are important. They're a little vague, which is also a little frustrating to me, but it's affordable housing. Obviously, affordable housing is the topic that everyone is talking about, and no one seems to be able to come up with either the money or the political will to do something about it. But one of the things that we really want is the Sadowski Housing Trust Fund to use only for affordable, to limit it to the use only for affordable housing. Over the years, you may be aware it's been gutted and sucked into, and now it needs to maintain where it's supposed to be. The other thing is there's an attack, we're hoping that doesn't happen, on our ability to set our own impact fees. There's a talk about limiting a municipality's ability to set their impact fees, limiting them, and we believe that that's something that, once again, home rule needs to sustain. That home rule is very important, and that's another chipping away of the home rule, which seems to be a kind of a topic that we hear a lot about in our meetings, that home rule is always pretty much under attack, and we need to maintain it. Thank you.
All right, so we look forward to speaking with you again to summarize regarding affordable housing and impact fees up in Tallahassee. So next we'll have Councilmember Radusky.
Yes, having served on the Utilities, Natural Resources, and Public Works Committee, and I will also invite my committee members to share if they want to after. But the
Everybody awake? All right.
Priority. Master this mic. Priority statement is the Florida League of Cities supports preserving municipal authority over utility revenues and the ability to realize a reasonable rate of return on utility assets. Legislation should honor current practices, existing contracts, utility operation and maintenance costs, service territory obligations, and revenues obligated for debt service and planned projects. And what's really important about this is some of the background behind it. So let me share this. So during the 23 and 24 legislative sessions, legislation was filed that would have substantially limited municipal authority and revenues relating to municipal water and electric utility extraterritorial surcharges and transfers of enterprise funds, which would have a significantly reduced rate, would have eliminated any amount of surcharge that could be added to rates and fees charged to extraterritorial water and wastewater customers. What's really important to know is that under the current law, there are no restrictions on transfers of municipal enterprise funds to municipal general funds. And also under the current law, municipal water and wastewater utilities are statutorily authorized to lever a surcharge on these extraterritorial water services. A municipal water or wastewater utility may impose a surcharge of up to 25% for extraterritorial services without a public hearing. What's really important is during this committee meeting, we saw vast differences from municipalities who had their utility, who don't have their utility, who were looking at paying more, who were looking at municipalities who could be stuck with getting less revenue and having to support the maintenance and the infrastructure. So the committee wants to maintain the current status, and that is the priority statement. Anyone want to add from my committee? Okay. The second thing was the policy position is One Water. And the Florida League of Cities supports the state's legislature endorsement of One Water policies that seek to enhance integration between different water systems while maintaining local flexibility. So what is One Water? One Water is a resource planning concept. and it promotes that surface water, groundwater, freshwater, marine water, potable water, wastewater, reclaimed, and reused water all fall under one interconnected umbrella. State action is not required for local governments to take initiatives, but an endorsement of the One Water approach by the state of Florida in all aspects of water resource planning, regulation, and funding would amplify and further incentivize local efforts. And so those are our two issues. Would anyone like to? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Radusky. Wow. Let's hope that Rep. Weinberger has a microphone that doesn't sound like that. Would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Good morning, Meg Weinberger, new representative in House District 94. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so what we're doing is we're just having our Palm Beach County League share our priorities for the year. So we're having each of our team leaders explain what you'll be hearing from us up in Tallahassee. So next we have Mayor John Paul Arconnor.
So I'm here today to present on the topic of transportation funding, more specifically alternative and innovative transportation funding and for infrastructure due to the decline of gas taxes, increase of electric vehicles. I've sat on this committee for a very long time. In fact, I gave this exact presentation 2 years ago to the same delegation. We have some new faces. I'm just going to speak very candidly of what the issue is. The issue is that our infrastructure is largely funded by gas taxes, maintenance on our roads, yet the electric vehicles that we have contribute zero to that. It's a by 30% or so decline in gas taxes by 2035. And I was checking the figures. We are on track from the same presentation that I gave 2 years ago. There is a significant decline in gas taxes. Obviously, it's an ongoing issue. We need to come up with creative legislation in order to curb it. We talked about doing a consumption based fee or tax, and that seems to be the only reasonable way of doing it. We shouldn't tax the actual registration because it doesn't account for all of the influx of vehicles from different states. So we have to do it as a consumption decline. It's a major problem. It's a major issue. There's more and more electric vehicles sold every single day. I have one ordered. They're coming. But yet we don't contribute at all towards the maintenance and the gas taxes. So I will read the official statement. The official statement is the Palm Beach County League of Cities supports legislation that ensures all vehicles, regardless of fuel type, contribute fairly to the funding of Florida's transportation infrastructure, which will allow cities to maintain safe and reliable roads for all residents. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm State Senator Gail Harrell, former chair of the Transportation Committee in the Florida Senate several years ago. I chaired the committee, and I absolutely share your concern about this. It was evident 4 years ago, and we've seen that increase in the number of electric vehicles coming into the state. And one of the issues that you did bring up that makes it really a national issue that has got to be addressed is that, of course, we have 1.5 million people coming to Florida every year as tourists. And when they come, a lot of them come in electric vehicles. And of course, they're not participating in paying for the roads that they are using. It's a major problem. But one of the issues is because of that interstate travel, you've got to address this truly at the federal level. Yeah. And it becomes very hard for the legislature, the state legislature, to truly address the problem. We're seeing this across the country, but Florida is probably, other than California, the most impacted by it. And I would encourage us all to have conversations with our congressmen and women and really discuss how we address this at the national level. It's very difficult for the state to do this.
Thank you so much. This is what it's all about, is the shared concerns. This is perfect. Thank you for your comments. We'll move along to Vice Mayor Glass Castro, please.
Good morning. Our committee's main priority is sovereign immunity. We recognize that the caps, the $200,000 and $300,000 caps on liability are old and may need to be revisited, but we're looking for something that can be sustained by our small cities. Last year, Senate Bill 472 was proposed that increased the caps to $300,000 and $500,000. We thought that was reasonable, so we'll be looking for something along those lines again this year. Our policy, which bubbled up, was public safety recruitment and retention. We're having difficulty in our cities attracting candidates who want to be police officers. It's not the attractive position that it used to be. Last year, a bill was passed, funding was passed, a $750,000 law enforcement apprenticeship. It's for fiscally constrained areas, though. We'd like to see that expanded because it's statewide that we're having difficulty recruiting new candidates for our police departments. Switching hats in Palm Springs, we're putting candidates through the academy and then offering them positions after they graduate. So we're not able to attract seasoned, experienced officers. They're just retiring out, or departments are pilfering from each other, and it's hard to retain officers who are qualified. So we'll be looking to see that there's something promoting public safety retention as well as recruitment from other states as people are moving into Florida.
Thank you so much. Well done. Mayor Young.
Good morning. Representing the Finance and Taxation Committee, I'll be discussing property taxes. Scared it's gonna yell at me.
I know. Yep, sorry. There's like a happy medium, but it's really hard to find.
Okay. Property taxes and local business taxes. In regards to property tax, Amendment 5 was just approved by Florida voters in November, and this amendment places an adjustment to the homestead exemptions to account for inflation. The inflationary adjustment can reduce the amount of property taxes being generated to fund general government services such as police, fire, parks, libraries, and more. It's no secret that Florida remains a desirable place to live. Along with the increasing population comes increased demands for municipal services and the cost to provide them. And we also have to realize that inflation is still a challenge in regards to us funding essential projects. Due to the passing of Amendment 5, we would like the legislators to consider giving the program time to be effective before considering further reform of property taxes, whether that's homestead exemption, non-homestead, or tangible personal property. Further changes or exemptions to the property tax system would create inequities and could unfairly shift the tax burden onto families, homeowners, renters, and our most vulnerable populations such as senior citizens. It's worth noting that of the 56 taxing authorities in Palm Beach County, 37 maintain their previous year's millage rate and 11 reduced their millage rate this year, thus showing that municipalities can responsibly manage tax revenue. Moving on to local business tax. So local business tax grants businesses the ability to operate within a specific jurisdiction. It's not to be confused with regulatory fees or license. The tax is a general revenue stream that allows local governments to offset costs associated with managing needs of the business community, such as code enforcement, public safety, infrastructure support. Over the recent years, various bills have been pursued to reduce or phase out local business tax, and some view that reducing this tax will create a more business-friendly environment in Florida, and I'd like to challenge those thoughts considering that Palm Beach County is dubbed Wall Street South, and this past August, the Palm Beach County voters voted to extend a 30-year program for tax abatements for new or expanding businesses. And just some quick data, the Village of DeQuesta, we collected about $91,000 in tax receipts last year, and all that goes directly to our code enforcement and also supporting business activities that we offer to our local business community. So in summary, the League supports preserving the municipal's ability to collect local business tax in order to foster economic growth, ensure public safety, deliver emergency services, and drive community development. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam Vice President, what is, if you could explain the League of Cities' position on impact fees on affordable housing units, whether they're brand new or they're conversion of previously impact feed properties?
So I think there might, Mayor Rush, is that more in your committee?
Anyone from our committee can speak. I'm afraid of this microphone. You know, we support the county league supports protecting our authority to set our impact fees, not limit our impact fees. Every city has their own needs for what's coming up, and so we just feel it's one thing that we should be able to maintain. Anything anyone wants to add, I'm happy to chime in. Happy to have you chime in on the impact fee issue.
If I can jump in, I think everyone's looking to see how we can retain affordability of units, and as new units are coming online, if there's something we can do to lessen that price. And so by granting a waiver of impact fees, that may be a means to retain that affordability. Right now, we're restricted from doing that. We have to assess a fee and then through another pool of money, grant a waiver. But if it was an outright ability to waive fees for affordable units, that may be a tool.
And on the other side, though, it's our infrastructures constantly need redoing and maintenance, and so the impact fees often are they have to relate to the new development, and so it's sometimes a challenge to get them to actually meet the needs that we're gonna be seeing with this new development. I mean, we all know the traffic problem, and that's kind of where this comes from. And as far as affordable housing, anybody wants to take that up, and we all talk about it, we all wonder about it. Some of our cities are more challenged with affordable housing than others. Westlake is a new squeaky, as you said, a new squeaky town. We are not a squeaky new town. We are an old, venerable.
Shiny, not squeaky.
Shiny. Thank you for correcting me, Mayor.
There's no squeaking in Westlake.
Squeaky clean. We're eclectic, we're seasoned, and we do have a lot of the. I think it's, as I look at the county, it's the East Coast, the older towns that are more affected by this housing crisis. If you're a brand new town, you've done it, but we have a big affordable housing crisis. We have a big homeless issue. We're looking to the state to help us somehow. Everyone talks about it, but I don't see much action doing it, and what's happening to help us face this problem.
So Representative Caruso, for your response, please go ahead, and I have some cards up it'll be after that Senator Berman, and then we'll move on to Senator Bernard. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we all know that we have a major crisis when it comes to affordable housing, our affordable housing needs. I look at counties like Osceola County. They just increased their impact fees to almost $33,000 a unit. I know there's some conversion projects of the old motels into apartments and affordable housing unit apartments. Typically, the developer investor cost for the conversion of those, the purchase and the conversion, is approximately $55,000. And the county is imposing a $33,000 impact fee on each unit. On buildings, they've already received the impact fee, granted 40 years ago. And I think that it's atrocious that the primary or the overriding cost of a unit is this county's impact fee on an affordable housing unit versus the construction cost of it. So I'd like the county to, I'd like the cities of our county to take that into consideration and work on ways to really encourage the development of affordable housing units and make them reasonable in price. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Senator Berman, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I thought we were going to have our discussion at the end, so I have a...
We will.
Okay. Are we in discussion now?
Actually, almost. Do you want to go ahead and, what I'd love to
I'll
just...
wait till
Okay,
we get
super.
into
If you don't
discussion.
mind, that'd be lovely. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Senator Bernard, is it discussing other things? Okay, what I'd like to do is, before we go into our discussion, there are a few items that are on your legislative priorities list. We did not have our team leaders cover. If you could just take a quick moment, if there is anything on there that we didn't discuss verbally, we're obviously more than happy to have a shared concern conversation about that. Mayor Resch?
Yeah, I would like to talk about the Airbnb, the short-term rental.
All right, we'll bring that back after the cards have gone through, and that might be something that we wind up having a collaborative conversation on. So I see everyone's taking a look. Whenever you're ready, Senator Berman, we'd love to go ahead and move into our conversation.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. So I want to go over a lot of the issues that we discussed. As everyone here knows, I am a big supporter of home rule, and I support all of our city's efforts, and I want to work collaboratively to make things better for the cities and everyone. So the first issue that was raised was Sadowski and the trust fund. We have a formula in place now. I wasn't in favor of it when we did it. But it is in place, and only a certain percentage goes to affordable housing. So I wanted to know if the league is comfortable with the formula that's in place now, or is looking to change the existing formula. So I don't know if you want to answer each question as I go through, or how you want to do this.
Well, first, I'm waiting to see if any of my cards come up from any of our board members that were working on that as a policy or priority at all, which I'm not seeing. I do, we have a couple folks who could answer very clearly.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what percentage of the fund you're...
I forget, whatever we put in place a couple years ago, a number of how much money actually goes to affordable housing on the Sadowski Fund. Is the league comfortable leaving that in place, or are you looking to change that percentage?
Well, I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Sadowski Fund was set up to support affordable housing.
Absolutely. It was 100% set up for that,
Right,
and
so
we
I
are
mean,
not doing 100%.
Speaking for myself, and I hope my colleagues, we want it all.
I have a question
That's what
about
it's
that,
for, so
Senator.
why
You're
would we-
recognized, but I can't hear you. Can you speak into your microphone?
I have a question about that, Senator. Are you talking about the conservation dollars that were diverted?
Yes.
Is that the formula?
Yes. Some of
Okay.
it. Yes.
Right, and that was also by the voters. I believe that was a amendment to the Constitution to divert a certain amount. Are we talking about something different? That's my
No,
question.
it was actually passed by the legislature, a different formula, how we're doing it. But,
You're
okay.
recognized.
I mean, I think I've got Kelly.
Thank
Good
you,
morning.
Madam Chair. Thank you, Senator Berman. So it's 50% of what was originally 100% of Sadowski. It is now 50% that is going specifically to affordable housing. The other 50% is divided between environmental, climate change issues. So that is the law right now. And I think what Senator Berman is asking is, are you looking for a bill proposal to change that law? Or are you wishing to protect the 50% that is now specifically allocated for affordable housing? Correct.
Well, I haven't had a chance to talk to my colleagues, but from my perspective, I would like you to change the law and get it all back where it needs to be. Because obviously, there's a need for it.
All right, further discussion will ensue, I'm sure. Thank you so much, Senator. All right, yes, ma'am, please,
so
keep going.
I have comments on almost every one of the presentations, so that was number one. Number two, on the enterprise fund, yes, on your presentation, Commissioner Radowski, I saw that last year, HB 11, that's the bill I presume that you are against. And I saw it did not pass last year. Have you heard anything? Are you concerned that it's coming back? Is this where the league is taking the position on?
Yes, it was House Bill 1277, made it to the floor in the second reading, and then Senate Bill 1510 died. And they're expected to be refiled, so yes, we're concerned about that.
Okay, I totally understand your position, and we will hopefully be able to support the cities on that. The next area was the gas tax revenue, and we did have a little bit of a discussion about it here in the committee, and I have been aware of this issue, and my husband was one of the early adopters of electric cars. He bought one in 2008. So I know it's an issue, and I know he doesn't drive that car anymore, but I know that he hasn't paid taxes. And as my colleague, Senator Harrell said, it should be a national issue. But in the meantime, I do think, there probably are some things that we can do here in the state. I would like us to look at what other states have done, because we're not the only one in this situation, and there should be some best practices that we could look at. It is always a problem to do the registration. That's been a big issue because it isn't consumption-based. Just because you buy an electric car in this state doesn't mean you're going to drive it in this state. And then, as said, there's so many tourists who are coming in this state. But I think if we maybe could look at other states and try and figure out best practices for that, it would be a good idea.
Senator Berman, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think we have Representative Skidmore responding.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Senator. I also wanted to just weigh in while you were talking about that, because it doesn't seem like we should wait for the federal government to take this on. If local governments have an opportunity to have a charging station fee for the folks who are coming in from other states, I don't see why we can't capture money that way. A registration fee for those who are Florida residents, I don't see why we can't capture money that way. I think that, there's opportunities here, and I know Senator Harrell, you're well healed on all of this, but I do think that Florida should take care of its own destiny and not wait for the federal government to fix this problem.
Thank you, ma'am. I have a card up from Mayor O'Connor.
No, I just wanted to chime in. I couldn't agree more. You drive down the turnpike, and at the rest stops, every one of these charging stations is completely full. People are charging. It seems like a very, very simple problem with a very complicated solution. But, it's a couple cents per gallon at the tank. Why not a couple cents per kilowatt at the charging station, at least to stop the bleeding, for now. So, I truly think that Florida should do something at the state level, something, whatever that might be, but we need to do something. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Berman.
Now on to the fourth presentation. I'm happy to hear what you said, that the league supports raising the caps, because as you know, they have been in effect for a long time. And I think the 300 to 500 is a good compromise for everyone. So we'll see what happens on that issue. On the public safety recruitment, I think that would be a great idea to expand it beyond fiscally constrained counties. I don't know if the league has already asked someone to bring that bill. I'm happy to look at it as a sponsor if you don't have anyone who's looking at that issue. On the Amendment 5 issue, the last presentation, did I hear you say you would like us to change the time that it would go into effect?
No, it's already, it was self-implementing from the bill that was passed last session. So no, the request was just, let's see how this new program plays out before we make any additional changes or any additional tax reform.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, and those are my comments on the issues that we discussed. Thank you for bringing all these to our attention. You need to be our partners in Tallahassee. We need to see you up there. We need your lobbyists to be advocating for these issues. Sometimes I sit in committee and I look at the lobbyists and they're not standing up, and it's hard for me to stand up when your lobbyists aren't making the points themselves. So happy to always work with you, but we need to have you guys there supporting us on those issues too.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you so much. We'll move on to Senator McBernard, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Just a couple questions in regards to the impact fee that was stated. I guess my question is, I was looking at this statement. Do the municipalities set their own impact fees?
Yes. Yes.
You guys got it? So it's based on a rate study, and based on that, then it comes a rational nexus for what the fee schedule is.
Okay, so that's not the impact fee that the county sets, is it?
The county goes through a similar process, but it's assessed countywide unless the city has something similar.
Okay, so both the cities and the counties assessed a business the impact fees?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. The question on, waiving the impact fees on some of the affordable housing developments, the issue is at the end of the day, some of the affordable, there is an impact to building that development. So you have to really figure out a way to weigh it, because let's say you build a family unit, the kids are still going to the schools, they're still going to the library, so there's an impact. So, maybe for senior development where you could kind of like tailor it differently, but, you don't want to waive the impact fees and, where you're going to have to build the library. And so that's my concern regarding that. And I do have a question in regards to the local business tax that Molly had brought up. Mayor brought up, sorry. So just to make sure, each municipality create their own business tax, is that correct?
Correct.
And what's why are the businesses being charged the business tax fee?
So that, a lot of it, like I said, in Dequesta, it goes directly towards code enforcement that we have to do for the businesses. And then also it goes towards, we have a business liaison, and we offer a lot of different activities, assistance to our local business community, and that goes directly towards that. So the money we collect goes back to helping the business community.
So like if I have a business and I have like different locations in different cities, so do I have to pay a different business tax receipt for each municipality?
Correct.
So yeah, I disagree with that. So I just think that, if you're trying to be business friendly, having a business tax receipt in every single municipality, and, how do you run a business where every year you're going to have to, figure out what Tequesta says versus the city of Boynton Beach? So I just think that it's not fair to a business to have to figure out every different municipality to pay a business tax. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Senator Harrell, I see that you have your card up, and personally, I'm hoping you could also, when you speak, whether you have a question, comment, or concern, if you could also touch on the state park protection while you're speaking. We'd appreciate the state park protection, if you could speak on that as well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair. And first of all, I want to discuss impact fees and also transportation funding. And when we look at impact fees, I know there's been quite a bit of controversy between impact fees and how they're used on mobility funding, and how we use transportation dollars for various levels of mobility, including public transit and things of that sort. Can you give us a really definitive position on where the league is? Because there's been a lot of controversy between cities and counties on impact fee usage and mobility fees and the difference there. While I have the mic, though, I will thank you for the comment on the state parks. I am delighted to see that the League of Cities has state park protection on their list of priorities. I think this is one of the key things. Those of us who live on the northern side of Palm Beach County and in Martin County are very concerned, certainly, about Jonathan Dickinson State Park. And this has been a big issue, I think, not just for our area, but also statewide. And I have filed Senate Bill 80 that is going to protect our state parks and make sure that they are not used for commercial reasons, that they are used for the enjoyment of the natural habitat and the natural environment, and that they promote things like camping and boating and hiking and things of that sort, and not golf courses and commercial endeavors. So I would ask that if the league would
specifically name that and say protection of our parks so that they are not commercialized. That would be, and I would encourage everyone to come and speak during the various meetings of the legislature. Hopefully, we will be moving forward quickly and come to the different committee hearings and make very public statements on support of that.
Senator Harrell, may I ask you a question regarding that? You have a
Yes.
Senate bill. Have you received any information about a House bill being filed as well?
It is my understanding that Representative Snyder, who represents the district where Jonathan Dickinson is, will be filing that. I'm hoping that that is forthcoming very rapidly.
Thank you, ma'am. Vice Mayor Castro, are you available to respond to her question regarding impact fees?
Trying to figure out how to say this politically correct.
Good luck.
Cities want the ability to focus on our residents' ability to get from their houses to shops to entertainment and not have to go out on the interstate system, not have to be tied up in congestion. And so we're focusing on different multimodal opportunities locally that we can implement within our city boundaries. The mobility fee helps us to put in those type of infrastructure improvements that support mobility. Now, some of that may be a local shuttle service or a small micro transit type of system. When you get into the bigger county-wide transit like Palm Tran, that's really something that a bigger entity like a transportation authority or the county needs to take on. But we really all need to work collaboratively to identify what our transportation priorities are and where our transportation dollars are going. But the mobility fee is an important tool for cities to implement that first and last mile type of approach, and especially in our built-out communities, which most of Palm Beach County is already built out, there's not opportunity to expand roadways to increase capacity through roadway expansion that impact fees, traditional road impact fees, can be used for. So the mobility fees are an important tool for us to be able to fund more local mobility, multimodal mobility improvements. And so it's key to us to have ability to have mobility fees and not impact fees.
Yes, ma'am.
May I have a follow-up, please? And I know there's a bit of controversy over this, and do you have specific recommendations? Any statutory changes? I know there's been lots of conversation, there's lawsuits going on, and I'm just really looking to see where the League of Cities is and if there's any legislation that is either forthcoming that you have specific recommendations on, or if there are specific statutory changes you're looking for.
Well, I believe to some extent with House Bill 479 passing, there have not been any concerns regarding glitch bills or changes to it or specificity. Again, it goes back to home rule. We all have different communities. And you mentioned the lawsuits. Those were all taking place ages ago, well before this legislation came in, kind of meant to be a cure for some of that so that can stop.
Definitely.
Personally, I would say the collaborative nature of this last year between specifically the League of Cities and these 39 municipalities, the people you see sitting here, and our county commission, our county staff, it's a different world now. And I'd like to think some of that is because we brought that to the table, because our Senate and our legislature heard us and is giving us the opportunity to forge together with interlocals to build the community so that our residents can actually get around, whether they're in Palm Beach County, Martin County. Our residents don't know if they're driving in Juneau Beach or West Palm Beach or unincorporated Palm Beach. They just need to know they can get to the hospital or to school. And I think that what the legislation accomplished last year does that, and we look forward to integrating it.
Thank you. And as it moves forward, and as you see, because we did pass a significant bill last year, but is there anything further beyond that, or where are you moving
I think we need time for it to work.
Interested in.
Yeah, I think we need time for it to work. There is an October 1st deadline in the legislation for everyone to enter into interlocal agreements. We kind of feel that we're pressured up against that October 1st deadline. We're trying to work collaboratively to come to agreement on what shape those interlocals will take and how mobility funding will be shared. But I think it's a tight deadline too, because we don't really have an example that we can mirror yet to carry us forward right now.
I have heard that there may be some concern about that. So, that's why I'm specifically asking if there's any specific recommendations that putting in place those agreements can be difficult. But
Yeah, we'll get back with you on that.
Keep us very much in the loop on this.
Yes, ma'am. Any other concerns, Senator O'Hara? Are you all set? Good? Right. So we will move on to Rep. Gerwig, please. I'm so sorry also if everyone, I know it's scary because when you speak into the mic, something terrible could happen. But if you could try to do so and we'll just cover our ears for your first word or two, we would appreciate the mic speaking. Thanks.
Perfect, I'm trying. Not sure, is it working?
Closer.
Closer.
JP, can you pass her your mic maybe?
Okay. No, I don't know if it's working. I'll speak loudly. I want to talk to Mayor Young. When you were talking about local business taxes, local business tax receipts, I like to see things done locally. My hat as local government is still, I still feel the pressure of that. And I will tell you from Wellington, from my experience in Wellington, local business taxes aren't necessarily collected the same way they are at the county. We were having to have a local business tax for a engineering firm, and then every category at the county, there was one for the engineering firm and one for each licensed professional that had to be paid. But in Wellington, it was one for each discipline. So if you were an engineering firm, of course, you're going to do inspections. So they would charge us for inspections. They would charge us for contract administration. But those are things that are standard for engineering firms to do. So in my experience, I found it to be excessive, and I fixed it at local government. When that doesn't happen, when your businesses don't see a reasonable taxation, that's when they come and ask us for things. So I would just bring that back to the fact that if you guys keep this under control, we don't hear about it in Tallahassee, from my experience. So that revision was changed, and Wellington matched up with the county on the procedures, and it was an effective basis for not to have unhappy professionals in your community. So I just want to say to the cities to take a look at how you do that and make sure it's reasonable, and we don't generally hear about it in Tallahassee when it is.
Thank you for the insight. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, I don't see any other cards up. Are there any other further concerns, priorities, policies, priorities, anything otherwise anyone would like to discuss? If not, I'll hand the meeting back over to Rep. Caruso. I'm sorry, to Joe Casello, to Rep. Casello. Is there anything else?
I would just like to enter into a conversation about the short-term rentals. I think all of us are familiar with this problem of cities not being able to make rules for their own cities for short-term rentals. And every city has a different need and a different, some cities want them more, some don't. But I just think, again, home rule, let us determine what would fit our city. Let us have a say in that. We have a plethora of them in our city, and I think there's a place for them. I'm not anti, I don't think they're bad, but we need to be able to have some sort of control over them, some sort of way to keep them either by, where they are or how many we have. And it's very frustrating because our citizens it's a big bone of contention in our city about should we have them, shouldn't we have them, how do we enforce the restrictions that we do have? So I would just like I would like to see a little cooperation from Tallahassee about giving us back some of the power that has been taken away in the past. So we respectfully request that. And it would make a big difference for us because we are just stymied. We just don't know what to do. Anything we try to do is going to be fought by the Airbnb agencies or by our citizens who hate them. So we'd like to be able to have a little more say in how they go about.
Yes, sir. So Rep. Costello, thank you, sir.
I just like to say to the league, it was a very informative discussion today. We'll take those suggestions up to Tallahassee with us, but like the senator, we need partners up there, committees. That's where we get the strength. And I hope that we can do that in partnership, and get some of the things that we talked about today passed. So looking forward to working with all of you. I think everybody here in this delegation is a home rule type person. Most of us came from local governments, so we know how local governments work. So we take great pride in that and take that mindset with us up to Tallahassee. So there's no further discussion or questions. Representative Caruso.
I will just say one thing.
Oh,
You can count on us. We're going to be there. This is the most committed I've seen our league ever in the time that I've been here. We already all have plans to be up quite a bit. We'll be communicating with you as much as possible, and we really appreciate listening today. I know that's what our jobs should be, and it's wonderful to know that our representatives are doing that so beautifully. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question along those lines. We have the days where we go up, Palm Beach County days, the legislators. Is it helpful, when you talk about, and we want to do whatever we can to support you and help you, would it be as helpful for us to come up when there's not a big doing? Come up on a quiet day where we can actually sit and talk and be a little less programmatic and a little more substantive? Is that something we should think about?
I'll be happy to take that question since I brought up the issue. Absolutely. If you guys can be at every committee meeting where an issue that affects you is coming up, and not just have your lobbyists,
Right.
but have people from the cities at those meetings. It doesn't have to be all Palm Beach County. You can rotate. You have, what do we have? How many cities in the state? Just make sure there's somebody there to speak and say what the league's position is at every single one of those meetings. That would be really helpful.
And the best way for us to find out when those committees are meeting are the reports that we get.
We meet all the time. Our schedules are out. They only put them out like a week in advance, sometimes even shorter notice, but that's, the league works with you guys and they'll give you notice. And I think if you just plan to have, Palm Beach County will come for week 1, these cities will come for week 2, these cities will come for week 3, so that somebody's always up there all the time and it's not just your lobbyists.
Good to know. Thank you.
And the league does send everything out for any of the committees that we sit on, but we'll do an even better job being aware of otherwise and reach out to your staff as well. And then I will take this on personally with our leadership team, that we'll start a group text or email group that we can kind of just say, heads up, this is what's happening for our representatives, and so that we can be there for you guys. And I'm so sorry. May I go ahead, Joe? I've got Rep. Gossett and then Senator O'Harrell had cards up.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Is that transmitting?
Sounds
Am I on?
good.
Yes, thank you very much. I wanted to point out, too, I'm the vice chair of housing. I don't know if you all know housing, ag, and tourism in the House. And so I would be able to assist, but please, in order to help us work the bills and everything, please get to us early in the committees and early in session. Sometimes I hear about things blowing up at the last week when it's almost too late to amend or talk to my colleagues and our senators to try to revise things. So also emails, you can send emails, and that's a big asset. And lastly, I forgot to introduce my new aide, Sam Muniz Campo, who comes to us from Senator Marco Rubio's office and has been a great asset to my team. But please stay in touch all the time. You all know me from when I was a commissioner, so you have my cell number. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to also echo how important your voice is, so that you come to Tallahassee, and not just on the big Palm Beach days. Everybody loves that, but I would love to see all the cities in Palm Beach County organize a week, not just wait on the state league, but we want to hear directly from you. And if you have specific bills that you are looking for, or there are tweaks, and it's much easier sometimes to do amendments than it is to do big bills. So if you are looking, if there is a bill that you're watching and if there's something that we can help you refine through an amendment or make better and make it work for cities, please let us know ahead of time. And we can work with you. You have to be on, in the Senate, you have to be on the committee to file an amendment to a bill. So you need to know what committees we're all on and coordinate that with the issues that you want to see changed. And sometimes, as I said, amendments are great. I am the master of the amendment. And you can get more done sometimes that way than trying to pass a big bill. So just a little, keep us in the loop.
I just had a quick response to Mayor Resch Lakeworth. I believe the position with the short-term rentals and the city of Lake Worth is unique because you have enforceable rules, but you would like to lessen them in some areas. I think if we focused on things that would lessen those restrictions, that might not get as much pushback from the industry. And you know, I can tell you all day long that I'm going to do anything you want me to do, but when you get to Tallahassee and an industry like short-term rentals and Airbnb comes in with their lobbyists, as long as you focus, we're going to feel that pressure, whether it's us or other statewide legislators. So if you focus on where you are loosening your regulations, and there's a nexus, a way to prove that, you might have more benefit. I don't know who your rep is. I'm not your rep, but we could talk about that. And I think it might be easier than saying, look, we want more control over this, when you're going to get huge pushback from an industry. But when you want to lessen your regulations and circumstances, it might be something that could be managed. That's just my 2 cents, and I've not been up there yet to operate this way, so I don't really have any experience to bring to you other than I think that might be something to progress with.
Which I appreciate, but I mean, we have no ability really to restrict them. That's the problem.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. If you were to craft your legislation so that it is obvious that you're not trying to increase your regulations, you're trying to say, okay, we agree that it is a benefit, we need to loosen it, because if you loosen it, you can't open any of it, or it's all out, it's all considered unenforceable. So I would look for that niche, a way that you can do what you want to do without, bringing those big red flags up to everyone. We'll talk about it. I'll talk with you about
it's
it.
a challenge to loosen regulations that we're not allowed to have in the first place.
Well, you are allowed because they predated the state,
Well,
my
very-
understanding. And again,
Very limited.
my understanding is limited, and most cities didn't have anything in place. Wellington did not have anything in place, so we couldn't do a darn thing about it. But I think you guys did have some things in place, but yet if you open them and change them, you're bringing red flags. So that's just a little bit of information
Thank
I
you.
think might help.
Thank you.
No further questions? Discussion? Representative Weinberg, you'd like to introduce your staff?
I have my district aide here, Lex Salerno. She's been an amazing asset to my team. So. Thank you.
And I would be amiss if I didn't introduce my staff. We got Brian Bees, my district aide, and Christy Burnley over there. Thank you. It can no further.
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
If you're going to talk about staffs, I would love to have Aziz Isles and Jerice stand up, please. Thank you, because they're the ones that let me run the league. So thank you.
Yeah, all of us sitting at this table, we know how much we appreciate and need the staff. They get us from point A to point B. They do the heavy lifting for us in most cases. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you. Representative Caruso moves to adjourn this segment of the meeting. So moved. This meeting is closed.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.